Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Catalyst Energies. This is the daily astrology report for November 3rd, 2020. This is election day in the United States. The moon is, in fact, in Gemini. Mercury is stationing direct in Libra, Venus is in Libra, and the moon is actually going to meet her north node by the end of today, which promises a very personal, emotional connection to a very tumultuous situation. So no matter how you swing it today, we are all personally going to connect with our karmic destiny, which right now is this Gemini archetype, this ability to sit in our own truth and our own sense of who we are in opposition, facing the opposition and accepting that as an equal part of the whole picture, even if it's mirrored back at us. And if we can only sit under this beautiful gazebo and use this image as a way to inspire us today, we can really see that regardless of what position we find ourselves in, that we face the opposition directly and see it as being encompassed by something much bigger than the positions we find ourselves in, right? It's not just the park benches. It's not just you facing other in this situation. It's the whole scene. It's covered by this gazebo. It is structured, but also open, right? You can take in the whole world. So this image is really meant to inspire us today as we go through what like I said, promises to be very tumultuous and really challenging. So the moon is going to square Neptune in Pisces today as well. And this is a reminder that with Neptune, especially retrograde in Pisces, we have been asked to surrender on a level we may have never done before to this collective spiritual process. Now, the moon in Gemini is going to square this position where we want to each individually and emotionally and intuitively connect to the planetary mind, right? To all of the other minds that are part of this collective. And while that in itself is important, it still does, it's only in the realm of the mind. And the square here is going to give us an opportunity to really feel into the difference. And the moon is very happy in Pisces, they're very much connected to Pisces. So allowing that part of ourselves to go even deeper, to dissolve even what seems like all of the mental constructs that go along with it. We might want to connect to all of the positions in order to rectify it. But this is saying the square is going to challenge our ability to go deeper, to dissolve even more on an emotional level. So the hanged man is our surrender to something that is beyond ourselves and trusting this process. Now, the sun today is at a degree in Scorpio that represents an embassy ball. And I pulled this picture up because this is from the movie that was based on the musical My Fair Lady. And this was the ultimate test of Professor Higgins, he had an objective here, which was to turn this young woman played by Audrey Hepburn from a flower girl in the gutter with a Cockney accent into somebody that could come to a royal embassy ball just based on the way that she speaks. Very Gemini, right? Speaking, communicating. He was able to transform and give her the tools to transform herself. And she completely changed and was able to participate in this royal embassy ball. Now, it's interesting to me that every year the election in the United States comes back around to this very basic position in Scorpio, and the embassy ball, it it ritualizes the display of power and prestige and wealth. And it's the idea that there is a rhythmic give and take in order to achieve global peace. And so when they have these embassy balls, it's all of these really elite people coming together. And the elections often feel like that. They feel like it's more of a display, a ritualized display of all of the elite playing nice and coming together in order to achieve some sort of peace. And it's really about the group consciousness flowering at its highest level of cultural interchange. And that is seemingly best displayed when we have our election process. Now, with the moon, it's going to quincunx the sun in this position today. And again, the moon is in Gemini, so it's the back and forth. And we're going to have a very emotional experience of this, right? A very personal experience of it, this back and forth, this dialectic in our mind, the way that we speak, the position that we take, the even the identity that we have in our mind. It's going to quincunx this position. And so right here, you can already see how there will be a need for adjustment to really break up this structure as we go through the day, because even though collectively we want to fulfill ourselves, we want to express ourselves through this like highest level of dignity and prestige that will be characterized usually through our own elections. The moon is really not allowing for this to be a smooth transition at all. And in fact, it's going to be a lot about liberating ourselves from the ghosts of the past and trying to assert ourselves as independent and autonomous beings in the face of what? This hierarchy, because no matter what, for this prestige and for this wealth to be the case, there has to be an equal but opposite position, which is the masses that are creating an environment for all of this to happen, right? There will be an opposite position to this. And the moon quincunx the sun today is going to provide an opportunity to adjust ourselves through this process. Now, Mercury is moving stationing direct today in 26 degrees Libra. This is conjunct Arcturus. If you've been following along, this has been a thread through the entirety of this whole new moon cycle because the new moon was also conjunct Arcturus. So this is Mercury stationing direct. This is the realm of the mind, our ideas, our thoughts, our communication, our learning. All of these aspects are now coming back online. We've learned a lot. We've seen a lot. There has been a lot of stuff that are secrets, right? Scorpio is secrets. What's under the surface has been brought to the surface. Now, this degree specifically is an eagle and a dove switching into each other. They are able to turn into each other. And the eagle represents the spiritual willpower, and the dove represents the love principle. And this particular degree is the ability to have them interchange so quickly that you actually can't see the difference between them. And it's it's the yin yang spinning so fast that you see them as one thing, and our ability to move in between these aspects as well. And this is about balancing those aspects of ourselves. This is about the spiritual will, the eagle, which is very connected to the United States and what it stands for. And then the love principle of the dove. We need both of these things to interact with each other. And so this, with the realm of the mind, this is allowing us to consider how important it is for us to be able to integrate these principles within our mind in the way that we are thinking, okay? So Venus is going to quincunx Uranus today. Now remember, Uranus is at the degree that it was at for the full moon, right? The fully decorated Christmas tree, our ability to create happiness and togetherness and warmth and abundance in the darkest of times, not for any reason, but to show our faith in the natural cycles of renewal. Now, Venus in Libra is this degree is the three old masters, right? It's the aspect of our collective process that has created wisdom and knowledge and truth that we can refer back to in times of chaos. Well, this is going to be quincunx Uranus today. So even though we are going to be searching for some prior knowledge, prior wisdom, prior examples of how to find our center in this chaos. The quincunx to Uranus is going to really force an adjustment, because the real path of the awakening, despite how we feel about it, Venus is all about how we feel gratified and satisfied. It's about the transactional nature of our relationships and the world around us. We are going to be looking for some way to find a balance in this chaos today, through our relationships and the world around us. And Uranus is making it really difficult, because again, it's going to go deeper than this. And this does go back, I think, to the Neptune in Pisces squaring the moon. This is not going to be about a personal, we're not going to really be able to find the personal experience to make sense of what's happening. We're going to have to go so much deeper. And with Uranus, that is the path of the awakening, radical transformation, revolutionary. And it's about being able to create happiness from the darkest of moments, because you have faith in the natural cycles. From the dark is where light is able to emerge. And this is going to be difficult today, because we're going to really be looking to ground ourselves into some prior knowledge, some prior wisdom, these masters that have laid the path for us and are presented in some format in our culture. As much as we're going to want to go into this space and try to find some grounding, the real challenge and the adjustment will come with Uranus. Again, radical transformation. What is going to happen? That is, and this is why the full moon was so important. We really needed to see what it, our ability to do this, to create happiness out of the darkness, to have faith in the natural cycle of renewal, because otherwise we are going to get caught in a stream of panic and fighting, right? That's with Gemini, it is the dialectic and it is oppositional. And if we stay there, we are really, I think, going to struggle. And so these large transpersonal planets today, Uranus and Neptune, have much larger cycles, and they have much more impact on where, as opposed to where we are individually. So the moon is going to meet her north node, a tumultuous demonstration. So just keep in mind today, by the end of today, we are each individually, personally, emotionally, and connecting with the collectives aspect of this tumultuousness, right? This emotional outburst that is meant to, it's not even meant to do anything. It is a natural outcropping of the need to find balance to one position, right? It is about the revolt against the privilege that we had seen with the embassy ball, which is where the sun is. So Mars is also going to sextile the moon today. Mars is retrograde. This is the degree that Mars will go direct in. It's about being aware of the potency of the natural world, and Mars is still retrograde. So the again, this proselytizing, this really passionate wanting to express ourselves with the moon in Gemini, of taking our position and really expressing it. If we are able to acknowledge and act on the potency within, right? If we're able to turn that warrior spirit towards the inside of us and really focus on this natural potency and the elementals and the nature spirits that we don't often get to see. If we can take that energy and turn it inwards, then our expression of ourselves, the expression and the proselytizing, the exteriorizing of this newfound experience can be really powerful. But if we are not turning it inwards, as retrograde Mars has been really challenging us to do, and we are trying to act out of that, then it certainly is going to encourage this proselytizing, this exteriorizing of this new experience in a way that is really going to, I think, is exacerbate what is likely to happen by the end of today. So we can look at the chart here as well, just to get an idea. So the sun also is in opposition still to Uranus, but also Black Moon Lilith. So even our sense of survival and self-preservation about the material world around us is being challenged by the sun in this this degree of prestige and ritualized coming together of the highest cultural interchange that is the election really representing itself. This is really challenging today. And then we also have Mercury, like I said, stationing direct, and it's going to come back into its square with Saturn like within a day. So also too, this spiritual will, this ability to fuse together these seemingly opposite aspects, the love and the spiritual will, right? The fire and the water, that's really what it represents. The fire and the water coming together in such a way that it becomes like this spinning disc, right? This is where the power comes from. And in our minds, right? In our ability to communicate, this is going to be a huge, huge strength for us today. As you know, as we move through this time. So this is the daily astrology for today. As you can see, the moon is coming closer and closer to her own north node. That means she will be in opposition to her own south node, which is really the fire aspect. And this um, ability to kind of imitate what's coming, right? That's where the South Node is. And as much as we want to do that, we are also going to be really strongly aligning ourselves with this tipping of the scales, right? And it's more about an emotional outburst than anything else. And I mean, this is not really hard to see coming, but it's interesting to see it laid out in the astrology as these patterns are already in place and they're already unfolding. And now that we're here, we can see what it is that we can use and to utilize in our own way to find balance and to see where that's headed, and also to be prepared, be prepared for what to expect. So I'm about to go live on Facebook now to do the daily intuitive reading. So you're welcome to join me there. Everything you need is in the description box below, including social media and email and how to get to the website in order to book a reading. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the next daily astrology. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the other side.